Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, at whatever time you decide to watch this video or at whatever place you are watching this video from. Welcome back to Rose Salwa. Here we are about
vulnerability, acceptance and hope. Kwani ni vita.
Karibuni sana, welcome back. We are so glad that you choose to be part of Rose Salwa. Karibuni sana, we really appreciate you. If it is your first time here, please take some time and subscribe to this YouTube channel and hit the notification bell so that anytime we post new content, you're part of the people that get to see it. You get notified anytime we post new videos. Karibuni sana, we truly appreciate. If it is your first time, please, you can always go back and check some of our videos that we've done before. There are videos that we've done together. There are videos that I've done alone. So you can go back. I am Rose Salwa and he is the Salwa. So I am hosting him. And I do that many times.
Yeah. Many times, yes.
So in this video, guys, we want to discuss a matter that probably it affects us, or we want to discuss something that we've not discussed it before in this YouTube channel, but we just thought, why not do it? So we want to talk about
what eats me.
What eats me. Yes, what eats me, what chews me. And we want to talk about what eats me in terms of things that keep on affecting me as an individual, or things that keep on affecting you as an individual. And we want to give it a spiritual perspective because we are children of God, and this is our musema kweli, this is our absolute truth. So we are going to use the scriptures to get to understand some of the things that we want to discuss. But before then, allow me to introduce this video, or to introduce these episodes that we are going to do, the episodes that are going to be coming. So the first one, what we want to discuss is, we want to discuss spiritual, the spiritual life, and how the spiritual life affects the physical life. Yes, we are going to discuss spiritual life and how your spiritual life actually affects your physical life. So it has been said in the past, and I think you probably have heard it. If you're a believer, probably have heard it, that there is nothing that happens physically that is not orchestrated spiritually. So everything that happens physically was planned physically, okay? Was planned spiritually. Yes, everything that happens physically is just a manifestation of the spiritual planning or spiritual orchestrations. So
in short, we are saying that the physical is a manifestation of the spiritual reality.
And in that line, we want to talk about, and in that line then opens up to our topic, which is spiritual patterns, or family patterns, or generational patterns, whatever you want to call it. That is what we want to talk about. Because if you think about it, there are things you can almost trace back into your life, or there are things that you have seen happen consistently in your life, or in the life of your neighbor, or in the life of your family, or something like that. For example, you can see something that keeps on repeating itself in your family. For example, if you come from a family where people drink, you realize that, or if you drink, you realize that your father drinks, or your mother drinks, and your grandfather drinks, or your grandmother drinks alcohol. They're addicted to alcohol. So you can trace that backwards. If you come from a place where people are illiterate, people don't go to school, probably you are the most educated in your village, and you've only gone to Form 4 or Class 8 or first degree, and that was it. Can you trace that back? So we are going to check what it's me. What is it that I am living? Am I aware of the realities, of the spiritual realities of what I am living physically now? Okay, so that is what we are going to be talking about. And to start us off is just to look at a biblical example of somebody who went, or a scripture that would take us from understanding if this thing can be found in the Bible. It is, if what we are saying actually it is true, that familiar, that spiritual things can be manifested physically. And now Salwa is going to help us see some of those things biblically. Karibu sana. Take us up.
Well, it's true that there are patterns that repeat themselves within some given, or maybe any given family, and one example that I can think of is actually a man that the Bible credits as a friend of God, a man that is considered to be, the man that was chosen by God, the man that used to interact with God one-on-one. Like, he would have a meal with God. He would have divine visitations from angelic visitations coming his way. But this man had actually a pattern that flowed in his life. I'm talking about the man Abraham. I'm sure many of you already know that Abraham was a blessed man. He received the promises and he had this massive wealth. But there was something about Abraham that kept on flowing through his lineage. And this was actually the issue of speaking lies. Speaking lies. It's a pattern that we first encounter Abraham at the point when he goes to Egypt. I believe to Egypt, yes. And when he gets there, he's so afraid. Now, I want you to notice two things right there. He's driven by fear.
Genesis scripture.
Genesis 12. 12 speaks of, from verses 10, where he goes and, particularly from around verses 17 there, where he is actually gripped by fear that because he has a beautiful wife, Pharaoh and his men will see this beautiful wife and they will want to take his wife. He even fears that they will kill him. And then, because of that fear, a pattern then begins. He purposely, or he decides that he's going to say a lie. Of course, he convinces his wife to say a lie, and they begin that pattern. A few years later, we see his son, Isaac.
So the lie was, Abraham said, it's actually in Genesis chapter 12, verse 10 to 13. The lie is somewhere there. It says, now there was famine in the land, and Abraham, this time he's not called Abraham, he's called Abram, went down to Egypt to live there for a while because the famine was severe. As he was about to enter Egypt, he said to his wife Sarai, I know what a beautiful woman you are. When the Egyptians see you, they will say, this is his wife. Then they will kill me, but will let you live. Say, you are my sister, so that I will be treated well for your sake, and my life will be spared because of you. So say, you are my sister.
So the lie is, say, you are my sister. Now that is, perhaps somebody will say it's a simple thing. But you see, this is a foundation that Abraham has started. Fast forward, he gives birth to his son Isaac with the same wife that he's lied his sister. And as you continue to read the story of Isaac, of course, he gets married to, again, a beautiful woman called Rebecca. We see Isaac going to, to Abimelech, another king. And when he gets to the land there, we are told that he was gripped with fear, and because of this fear, he decides to actually lie about his wife. He is almost in the same situation as his father. His father feared that because the woman is beautiful, perhaps the Egyptians will kill him and take away the wife, and so he lied. Isaac again fears that the king Abimelech will actually see that she is attractive. If you read Genesis chapter 26 from verses 6, it talks about Isaac's experience with Abimelech, and in verses 7, it says, when the men of the place asked him about his wife, he said,
she is my sister, because he was afraid to say, she is my wife. He thought the men of this place might kill me on account of Rebecca, because she is beautiful.
Because she's beautiful. Same things like his father. Now, it even gets more crazy that now Rebecca joins into this this pattern of lying. Now, we want to bring to our attention that somehow this family or these patterns, spiritual patterns, have a way of attracting. So in this case, you see, we have got somebody whose father was a liar. He then gets married.
Was a liar or he lied?
He lied. Let's say he lied.
He lied.
Yes. So that is the sin that flows through that family. Mm-hmm. So he lied because he's born out of that family.
He lied because of fear. So there's always a justification for something wrong you want to do. That's another story.
That's another story. But so he's born out of that, and then he himself repeats the same thing, and interestingly, he marries a woman who joins that lineage of lying.
So Abraham lied, Isaac lied, but now the wife of Isaac
joins into that lineage, and at the point when she gives birth to the sons, of course she has two sons, twins actually. It gets interesting. So you have a husband who lied, his father lied, the mother of this husband actually lied. Remember when Isaac, the angels visited Sarai, and they asked him, why did you laugh? She says, no, I didn't laugh.
I didn't laugh.
So she lied there. So the two of them have this thing in them, and then they lie. They give birth to a son who lies.
And the wife joins.
The wife, Rebecca, joins them, and she actually lies.
I'm waiting to see how she joins. Yes.
Wait, you see. Now, when she is pregnant, she gives birth to these twins, Jacob and Esau. At the point when Isaac's vision is actually gone, he's almost become blind, it is the wife, Rebecca, who actually comes up with a cunning way to lie to the father, to his husband, actually,
so that Jacob
gets the blessing.
All right? That is in Genesis chapter 27.
Genesis 27. Now, Jacob is born. In fact, he is even named Jacob to carry on the trickster or the lying behavior or pattern of the family. The grandfather was lied. The father lied.
Isaac lied.
Isaac lied.
Yes.
And I realize it is always an agreement between a husband and a wife
And a wife.
for them to lie. So that makes it a family thing, a family pattern. So now that they continue that, they give birth to the real one, the one who is going to display the trickster. And they even name him Jacob, which
means
a liar or a trickster or a cunning fella. And so the guy
crafty fella.
Yes. So the guy just becomes now the trickster of the family, the hero of the family. You realize it doesn't stop there. When he goes to the place where he is to marry, I'm just rushing through the story because of time. When he goes to Laban's place, he's attracted to a liar, and he attracts to himself a liar. He went to Laban. Of course, you know how he was lied to. He was lied to,
Some of us don't know because we have not even read the scripture.
All right. So when he got to Laban and he loved Rachel, the younger daughter, he was meant to work for 7 years so that he would be given Rachel. But in the course of that, Laban tricked him to the extent that he actually got Leah, whom he did not intend to marry. So lie number one. Number two, so he is attracted to another liar. He goes to Laban, who lies to him. But when he gets there, he is also, or rather he attracts Rachel. He wants Rachel. Now Rachel is also a liar. Remember, at the point when now they have grown and it has become a big family, Jacob has Leah and Rebecca as his family, and they decide that now it's time to leave Laban to go back to their land. Jacob is leading this family. They leave actually, of course, he performs some kind of miracle or whatever we want to call it. So he has a lot of property and so he's leaving. Now one thing that happens is Rachel, whom he attracted, Rachel lies to both Laban, his father, and Jacob, her husband.
The husband to be.
No, they are already married actually at this point. By the time they are leaving.
So but now he's living with two wives.
Two wives.
Consequences of lies.
Alright. Now this wife, this beloved wife, Rachel, lies by stealing the idols of the father and does not speak the same, reveal it to Jacob, so they carry. After they have left, Laban realizes, oh, my idols, my gods have been stolen. So he pursues them and he catches up with them. And then he's like, you guys have stolen my idols. You have stolen my idols. So Jacob is like, no, we have not done such a thing. So Rachel goes and takes the idols and comes and sits on them. And when they are doing a search to look for the idols, she actually refuses to stand, saying that she is in her periods, in her season,
because she was also afraid to be caught.
Yes, it's driven by fear. Remember the fear of Abraham, Isaac, Jacob,
and
now it is enjoined to the wife,
to the first wife,
to the first, the beloved
to the
wife.
beloved wife.
It doesn't stop there. Now the children that Jacob and these wives that are born from a trickster, another trickster, Laban, the children that are born out of Jacob become actually liars. They lie to their father.
We started this story from Genesis chapter 12. Now we are in Genesis chapter 29.
Chapter 29. So they have given birth to sons. And then, one day, these sons decide that they are going to do what? Before we even get to them lying to their father about Joseph, which will come later, there's a time they meet with the men of Shechem. And as they meet these men, they decide to actually, their intention is to get to war with these men, but these men know about them. So they decided, no, we are not going to fight you. So they lied to the men of Shechem, and they said, oh, we are not going to do anything to you. What we will do, you guys, you need to be circumcised, and then you will be part of us. So when they circumcised the men of Shechem, and after they circumcised these men, because they were weak, they actually killed the men. They killed the men of Shechem. These are the sons of Jacob. The same sons of Jacob, they decide to do away with their younger brother, who is most beloved. They throw him.
The father.
Yes, they sell him to the Egyptians. But when they go home, they tell their father, we found the coat, and they have even slaughtered some animal, smeared the coat that Jacob had made for Joseph, smeared it with blood, and they go and they lie to their father.
Our brother is dead.
Our brother is dead. Yet they have sold him in Egypt. All right? So that is a pattern that began with Abraham, when it was passed on to Isaac. Isaac passed it on to Jacob. Jacob passed it on to his sons. And we can go on and go on and go on. But what is interesting is that even the wives come from places,
different places, and join into the pattern.
Somehow spiritual patterns attract each other. And if you look at most couples in today's society,
before we go into could it be possible, well, of course it is not written, that these wives from wherever they were coming from also, probably they came from the same spirits, the same lines of liars, because Jacob is a trickster and then marries
a daughter of another trickster.
Actually, the father-in-law is a more trickster.
Yes.
Because could we say then that the lie attracted?
Yes.
From both sides.
Yes.
So they walked into a line blindly. And another question I wanted to ask: Abraham lied. Did he actually realize? Isaac lied. Did Isaac actually realize that the father probably had done that? Did any one of them? Of course, they are men of God, and they are a big story and a good story to follow up and to learn something from it in the Bible. But did any of them? Is there? I don't know what I want to ask, but I want to ask, why is this story in the Bible?
All right. Let me respond in two ways. Number one, we are not told whether Isaac actually realized that the father had done this. Okay. And most probably, it might be that Abraham did not pass the narrative or share the story of his experience, his journey with his son.
Because it was spiritual anyway.
Because it was spiritual.
Okay.
And then, and we see the same thing. We are not told anywhere where actually Isaac sits with Jacob to tell the story, yes. Of how his father lied and him lied. We're not told. But even in the naming of their son, Isaac and Rebekah, either knowingly or unknowingly, give him an identity that agrees with the family pattern of lying.
Yeah.
All right? So
Jacob
let-
means trickster,
trickster.
or a liar.
A liar, let's say it.
So they have actually given him the identity. He's
Yes.
now,
you are officially the liar.
yeah.
So then the guy just lives lies until to the point when God meets this guy, he has to alter, he has to change that identity and even give him a new name.
Which is now now we are at Genesis chapter 32 from verse 22. That's when now God meets with Jacob and changes his identity completely. Now in the next video we are going to begin from there, naming. We are going to begin from there in terms of we are going to talk about naming of our children, or naming and how naming has power, and some of the things that you may actually be living and you are not aware. Of course, in this story we are not told that who was aware of what, but hold it right there, think through it. Please take some time and read the book of Genesis. Let's read Genesis from chapter 12 all the way
to chapter 50.
to chapter this video we get to chapter 32. Yes, up to chapter 32, and then we will continue from there next time. Here at Rosalwa, it's a bye bye.